Hey everyone, today we are taking a look at the TrimUI Brick. I just got my hands on this one and wow, what a pleasant surprise. This device delivers on everything TrimUI promised, a compact vertical handheld with a beautiful screen, all the performance of the TrimUI Smart Pro, and all that in an attractive package for under $100. I was going to do a review of this device, but my review would be very similar to what a lot of the other channels have already said. This is a great handheld that, at least for me, will be replacing my Miyoo Mini Plus as my main compact handheld. So instead of doing another review that reiterates how good the TrimUI Brick is and why it's worth getting, I thought I would just share 10 tips for you guys who just unboxed your TrimUI Brick and would like to enhance your experience with this device. Before we get started, I just wanted to say a big thank you to LitNXT for sending this one out for me to check out for you. They sell this and many other handhelds on their website. I will leave a link to the website along with a discount code below if you're interested in grabbing one for yourself.
All right, let's jump straight into tip number 1, swapping the shoulder buttons. The TrimUI comes with several sets of swappable shoulder buttons, but the instruction leaflet does not clearly explain how to swap them out. Turns out they are simply friction-fitted caps. To replace them, grab a small prying tool, preferably something plastic like a guitar pick or a plastic spludger, and wedge it between the device body and the button. Then gently push the buttons out. Now, I prefer the original buttons that came pre-installed on the device, but the transparent set are also growing on me. Try them all and see which one feels more comfortable for you. One thing to keep in mind though is since they are only friction fitted, they can be snagged and pulled out accidentally. So be careful not to lose them in your travels. So there are options on the device to control the brightness of the LEDs independently of each other. For example, I love to leave the front-facing buttons slightly illuminated, but the top and shoulder buttons, while they look cool, can be a bit distracting for anyone around you, especially in bed at night. To adjust these settings, go to the display settings. Yeah, that's right, the display settings, where you can modify the brightness of the top, tail light, and F1 and F2 buttons however you prefer. Now, for the most part, if you're new to the space, this is a pick up and play device. It comes loaded with everything you need in the box. All you have to do is power it on and you are good to go. I can almost guarantee you though, at some point, you will want to tweak some advanced settings or add an additional game or two that might not be included on the device. And to do that, you will need access to the SD card on the brick. You can always grab an SD card reader and pop the card in there to access the data that way. Or there's an even easier method. If you use a USB cable and connect it to your computer, then go to the apps and select USB storage. You can get direct access to the drive without needing an SD card reader. The device comes with 2 custom buttons and a toggle switch that can be customized based on your preferences. To customize these keys, open up the Apps menu and launch the FN Key Settings app. From there, you can assign one of 4 custom settings to the face buttons, including adjusting the CPU clock speed to enhance battery life or performance and toggling the LEDs on and off. You can use the left and right keys to switch between the 2 function keys. The toggle switch on the right side has additional functions such as a silent mode and a turbo button. I really like to set that side button to the silent function to quickly mute the brick when I need to. So this is a bit of a niche use case, but it actually works very well. To access it, go to the apps folder and launch the Book Reader app. From there, you can see any EPUB files that are in the book folder. You can press the A button to then open the book. The up and down arrow scrolls the text one line at a time, while the left and right arrows and shoulder buttons scrolls one screen at a time. Pressing the select button allows you to pick the chapter and jump directly to it. You may find the fonts a bit small at first, but you can adjust that by pressing the X button for the options menu. I found setting the font size to 32 and the theme to sepia to be the most comfortable. To add new books to the brick, they need to be in EPUB format and be placed in the Apps, Pixel Reader, Books folder. You can create a custom collection that will appear under the Best tab on the brick. For example, I created a Castlevania custom collection. The process is actually quite simple, and it mainly involves knowing where to look and what to edit. Open up the Brick's SD card and you should find a best folder on the root directory. Open that folder and make a copy of one of the existing collections. Rename the folder. In my case, I named it 04 Castlevania. Then edit the config.json file and rename the label to whatever name you want the collection to have. Find a suitable image for the collection and replace the icons.png image with that image. Finally, place your ROMs in the ROMs folder in that same directory, and you are done. So this one's pretty simple, but gives you some control of the look of the brick. You can change the size of the icons displayed on the device from small, medium, or large. Simply go to the Games or Apps tab and press the Start button to cycle through the different icon sizes. You can clean up some unwanted emulators that you do not use by going to the Games tab and pressing the Menu button. From there, select Edit. Now you can uncheck any and disable the systems you no longer want to be displayed. A lot of these retro handhelds only support external controls and they do not support Bluetooth audio. But this is not the case with the TrimUI Brick. To connect up your headphones, go to the Settings, Bluetooth, then ensure that the Bluetooth switch is enabled. Find your device in the list and select it to pair. If all goes well, you should now have wire-free audio. So this was going to be the part of the video where I walked you through setting up MinUI as an alternative OS. However, Russ from Retro Game Core just released a video on the same topic. So rather than making another one, I will just point you to his article and video as my final tip. While MinUI is not perfect, it is a good option for a minimalist setup. One cool feature is that if you already have the latest MinUI on another one of your devices, like my Abernic 35XXSP here, I can use that same card in my brick and continue playing my games without doing anything. This is a great feature of MinUI where it just works with several of the devices regardless of the manufacturer. That's all the tips I've found so far during my brief time with the device. If I find any more, I'll be sure to make a part 2 of this video. If you have any tips, please leave them in the comments below and I will pin them to ensure others can learn from you as well. Thanks again to LitNXT for sending out the device and thank you for sticking around with me. Happy holidays and enjoy your new device.